All right, so we've successfully gotten this first column to be 1, 0, 0. Now we want this second column to be 0, 1, 0. So I'm going to do is first focus on this negative 48 and get that to be a 1. And as you can see in blue, I kind of already tested it out. In the first column, to get this to be a 1, we multiplied this guy by 3 and then subtracted them. And that's really nice if you can do that, because then all the numbers stay fairly whole numbers and they just work out much nicer. But since our matrices, at least for this word problem, are not nice numbers anyways, we can kind of go outside of that a little bit to make what we need necessary. So over here, I don't really have like a nice number like to multiply by or to add to get this to be a 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to divide all of these by negative 48. We have big numbers anyways, we have decimals anyways, might as well just make that happen. Okay, so I put over here, I'm taking row 2, and I am dividing it by negative 48 or multiplying by 1 over negative 48. And that'll get me my my new second row. My dog is dreaming, so if you hear her barking, she is barking in her sleep. Okay, so I put this in blue, and so I'm dividing all these numbers by negative 48, and I just put it here to help me not make a mistake. So negative 48 over negative 48 is in fact 1, and even if I divided this one as well by negative 48, I would get 0, so that works out. And then negative 23 divided by negative 48. You could put a decimal here. I'm going to leave it as a fraction to see if that will make my life... I just prefer fractions because they're exact. Decimals aren't always exact. So then I divided negative 237.99 divided by negative 48, and I got 4.96, and this is actually approximate. So our answers are going to be a little off, but that's okay. So that was my next step. Okay, I've got this 1 here, and now it's really nice to get these to be 0. I can just multiply the second row by whatever the number is and then add or subtract them. So to get this to be a negative 12, I can make this a 12, add them together, and this would become 0. So I'm going to multiply the second row by 12, add it to the first row to create a new first row. So again, I'm taking row 1, and I'm adding it to 12 times row 2 to get my new row 1. And I'm going to do this part in orange so just I have it, not in mental math. So I'm going to put it just like in parentheses here. So this is going to be 12. This I'm multiplying by 12. Let's see, I'm going to multiply that fraction by 12 and see if I get a nice number. So I get actually 5.75, which is nice. Ooh, this is hard. 5.75. And again, this orange isn't becoming the new row 2. I'm just putting in reference so that I can add it to row 1. And then I'm taking this number and I'm going to try to use the exact number in my calculator and then multiply it by 12. I get 59 we'll say 50. That is rounded. And this obviously multiplied by 12 is 0. Okay, so I'm taking my row 1 and I'm adding my 12 times row 2, and then that will become my new row 1. So 1 plus 0 is 1. Negative 12 plus 12 is 0. Negative 5 plus 5.75 is 0.75. And then I got negative 54.84 plus 59.50. Since I'm on camera, I'm going to definitely use my calculator. As a positive 4.66. And then the rest of it becomes the same. 23 over 48, and then approximately 4.96. 0, negative 29, negative 12, negative 136.79. okay? We just have this negative 29 to go to get that to become a 0. So if I multiply this guy by 29, add them together, I should get a 0 here. So I'm multiplying, I'm taking my row 3, I'm adding 29 times row 2. That'll get me my new row 3. Let me do that in blue. So I'm multiplying this guy by 29, and then 23 over 48 times 29 is an awful number. I'm just going to write the decimal. That is 13.90. Obviously this is still 0. I'm multiplying all row 2 times 29, and then I'm going to take this number. I'm trying to use the exact number from my calculator. It's good practice. Times 29. This is 143.79. So I multiplied the row 2 by 29, and I'm adding it to row 3. So 0 plus 0 is 0. Negative 29 plus 29 is 0. Negative 12 plus 13.90 is 1.90. And negative 136.79, negative 136.79. And then I'm going to add the exact answer here. And I get 7.0. 7.0. And then I can fill in the rest. 23.48. Again, this blue is not the new row 2. It was just my notes so I could remember what row 2 times 29 was. Okay, I've successfully done row 1, or column 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, column 2, 0, 1, 0, and now I'm going to tackle column 3.